Elite Facts presents
8 most convincing alien encounters that will make you believe. 8. Barney and Betty Hill's encounter. So this story is quite an interesting, well, in fact, we think interesting may be an understatement, as it's not just abduction-wise, but sociologically. After Barney and Betty Hill went public with their story, other testimonies of abduction began to swarm the media. To be fair, most of these stories were probably people just trying to get attention and fame, but I digress. The story is as follows. Barney and Betty were on the road going home to New Hampshire after a trip to Canada when they saw an almost blinding bright light up in the sky. Naturally, they stopped their car and, using binoculars, reportedly saw several otherworldly creatures up in the ball of light. Freaky, right? Well, it doesn't end there, according to the couple. After they got back to their car, they pretty much lost 2 hours of their lives, as they ended up 35 miles away from where they last remembered being. Again, really freaky. However, it still doesn't end there, as Betty states that her dress was mysteriously ripped and Barney's shoes were scuffed up and their watches were stopped at the time when they saw the light. The couple became famous for their experience, and numerous news segments and documentaries scrambled to recount the odd story.
7.
John Slater Jr. Usually with these sort of abduction stories, they usually end badly, with the victim being traumatized and whatnot. Well, this is one of the few instances in which the story has a positive ending. John Slater Jr. and his son John III appeared to have lost about an hour of time as they were traveling on the highway, after suddenly finding out that they were driving in the opposite direction and were an hour later than they believed. With no memory or recollection of the missing hour, the two decided to continue with their journey as normal. Later on, the two would stop in their tracks as they saw an apparent UFO in the air. The sight of the UFO jogged their memory. They remembered seeing a group of what they thought to be children, as well as a taller, half-human, half-alien creature. Both men claimed that they were not afraid of these extraterrestrial beings and instead felt very protected and bonded with the aliens. The two men were then guided to a room where they had a thorough medical examination and procedure. After all was said and done, John Jr. and John III reported an overall drastic improvement in their health. Now, you're probably thinking that this story is a load of crap and that it was fabricated by these two just to get some attention and become famous. Well, on any other occasion, we'd agree. However, they had concrete evidence of this. You want to know what the evidence was? Well, John Jr.'s permanent forehead scar almost completely disappeared after the incident. Screw healthcare. We want these aliens to sort out any medical procedures we need.
6.
Fiery object seen over Texas, 1957. Okay, this one is one that couldn't be missed. So at around 11 p.m. on November 2nd, 1957, in the town of Levelland, Texas, police received 15 frantic phone calls from local residents about a mysterious object in the sky. In an Associated Press account, one of the witnesses, a 30-year-old farm worker and Korean War veteran, described the object as a flash of light flying overhead with a rush of wind, and said that it had apparently caused the lights and engine of his truck to go dead. Other witnesses described the craft as blue-green and egg-shaped and said that it abruptly morphed into a fireball before rising straight up and disappearing. Really freaky stuff.
5.
Clayton and Donna Lee. What's this? Texas yet again with another alien sighting? Well, this one was a little more personal rather than being a full-on public UFO sighting. In this story, Houston native Clayton Lee claims that he's been abducted by aliens several times over the course of his life. When he married his wife Donna, she too became a victim of these alien abductions. Donna even believes that the aliens took a fetus from her body. Yeah, this story went dark really quick, we know. As the news broke out that both of them were getting abducted on a regular basis, their local news station decided to cover a story based on them and their abductions. During this story, the station decided to bring in a hypnotist to help them jog their memories with unsettling results. Recalled memories include Clayton screaming, quote, "Stop touching me." The couple's story caught the attention of Harvard psychiatrist Susan Clancy, who put out a call to the public to try to collect stories that were similar to Clayton and Donna's experiences. She was overwhelmed with responses. Both Clayton and Donna have been held up as a modern example of, variously, paranoia and psychosis, or enormously convincing examples of alien abduction.
4.
July 14, 2001. UFO on the New Jersey Turnpike. This one is very similar to the Levelland, Texas incident in the sense that the event was witnessed by multiple people. Multiple witnesses, including a local off-duty police officer, watched in wonder as an array of yellow lights flew in formation in suburban New Jersey near New York City late in the evening of July 14, 2001, into the early morning of the following day. A short time later, at around 12:30 a.m., another witness, Carteret Police Lieutenant Dan Tarrant, reportedly received a call at home from his 19-year-old daughter, who was out with friends and had seen strange lights in the sky. Tarrant told the Record and multiple news sources that he then stepped outside to take a look. He would go on to say that what he saw was astounding. Quote, 16 golden-orange colored lights, several in a V-type formation. Others were scattered around the V. Tarrant told the Record, a local newspaper, that the mysterious lights flashed across the sky for about 10 minutes, then faded one by one into darkness.
3.
Kelly Cahill, 1993. Heading to the land down under now, we have a story from Australian native Kelly Cahill, who claims to have experienced an alien abduction herself. She states that as she and her family were driving home, they saw a UFO-like craft in the sky with a diameter of about 150 feet, as well as a blinding light. After the initial panic and upon noticing a second car, she and her husband simply continued their drive home with their 3 children. When she returned home, Kelly realized that they, much like a few others on this list, were missing a good chunk of time and remarked upon an odd triangular mark on her navel. Now that's kind of something to take note of. Going off track for a second, have you noticed that a few of these stories include the person missing a big chunk of time from their memories? It's strange, but anyway, Kelly would consequently be hospitalized a couple of times, once for a uterine infection and again for severe stomach pain. As time went on, Kelly started to recollect the events that took place during the missing time gap, things such as humiliating medical procedures, frightening creatures, and mind control. And what's extra strange about this report? The family in that second car reportedly having an identical experience as the Cahills, but didn't want to be publicly named for fear of scrutiny.
2.
May 11, 1950, McMinnville UFO in McMinnville, Oregon. Quite possibly one of the most disputed and famous UFO sightings in U.S. history concerns a pair of photos taken by Paul and Evelyn Trent. The couple first spotted a slow-moving metallic disc in the sky near their farm just outside McMinnville, Oregon. Trent only managed to snap 2 pictures before the disc was out of range, and skeptics and believers have fought over the photos ever since. On a separate occasion in the 1980s, 2 journalists, Philip J. Klass and Robert Schaefer, made it their mission to debunk the sighting. They concluded that the Trents lied about the time of day the photos were taken, so they, of course, had to be lying about the content of the photos. Since then, however, UFOologists have contested that theory, but the photos were printed in Time magazine, making it one of the best publicized UFO events in history. To this day, there's still no consensus.
1.
January 8, 2008, the Stephenville Lights in Stephenville, Texas. Texas has certainly seen its fair share of alien sightings. First, the fiery object over Texas in 1957, and now this. So back in 2008, many people reported seeing flashing orbs of light, red as fireballs, zipping through the air above the Texas plains. According to Constable Leroy Gayton of Dublin, Texas, he says that he, quote, saw a yellow-red orb the color of lava in a volcano. He would then go on to say that, quote, instead of the red orbs, there were 9 or 10 flashing lights maybe 3,000 feet in the air, bouncing and very bright. They hovered there, strobing for 2 or 3 minutes, bright like German auto headlights. Then they shot off at blazing speed like a school of fish, you know, when it's frightened. At first, local Air Force bases were quick to confirm that they did not have any aircrafts flying in the area at the time. However, many witnesses have claimed that they saw military aircrafts chasing after these lights. On January 23rd, it changed its tune, saying it had been conducting training flights in the Stephenville area that involved 10 fighter jets at the time. Conspiracy theories still abound. Did we leave any out? Let us know in the comments section below. Please make sure to subscribe and tap the bell button to get notifications about our latest videos. And thanks for watching.
Don't forget to like us and subscribe for more Elite Facts.